Hello. Thank you for joining and listening to the podcast. Today's topic is, or title is Become a Person Whose Psyche is Not Bothering You All Day. And I kind of like chuckle when I think of that because I'm having more days in which there's so much inner peace that my mind is not bothering me all day with being anxious or ruminations. Or obsessive thinking. And it is so wonderful to live days like that. And it's been a practice to get to that point, and I'm incredibly grateful. And so there's been some work to do on a consistent basis to bring me to this point. And hopefully, you are interested in that kind of work. Or you are on that path too, because the rewards are tremendous. I just exhale just thinking about it. Like it just feels so good to have days in which I'm not exhausted from a mind that is, running away. Like it is on a constant go, one thing after another. It is picking fights and complaining internally. It's at war with the outside world. It's in war internally. And or it could be like a slow burn, to where you're just never quite settled. And as I've said many times before, I became present to that was not the way that I was going to live. So I was going to exert effort, not a lot of like aggressive effort or effort that's exhausting, but I was just going to be diligent every day, just a little work every single day throughout the day of freeing myself from living that way. And it's been worth it. And what I'm reminded by is that I don't know many people that are living that way. More and more, there are more people joining the path that I know. But in the course of my lifetime, there's only been a few. And I certainly wasn't one of those on that path. And now I'm seeing more people be bothered by things that are completely outside of their control. And they just get swept up. I mean, most recently I heard, about a friend who is just in the grip of things that are outside their control, with the Supreme Court or with this event that's happening. And it's one thing to be informed. It's a completely different thing to be so identified with it that you can't distinguish who you are from the event. It's a different thing to be engaged to the point of where you can take intelligent action that's rooted in peacefulness, or you could be at the mercy of it to where you are, or at the effect of it to where you are seeing other people who think differently than you as enemies. I mean, you are unconsciously just handing over your peace, handing over your life to this thing, and you mistake it for people are taking it from you. No, you are giving it. Even if it's unconscious, you're still giving it away. And I said a long time ago, my days like that are over. I will spend no more days like that. Nope. So I got to do whatever it takes to stay conscious so I don't spend any more time like that. The time is going to pass anyway. How do you want to spend it? And no thing is so trivial that it doesn't deserve that kind of content, that kind of commitment to not living that way. So I began by starting with the small things and saying, nope, I'm not taking that on. And then over time, my mind began to learn that I was the boss and I was dictating what we were going to be involved in. When I say we, the conscious part of me that's observing all of this internal activity that I used to get involved and become identified with and be taken on that trip. And the part of me that wants to be taken down that road, that those default settings, that the minute something happens, we are like on it, like we are going for that ride wherever it takes us, with its feelings of insecurity or shame and guilt, not feeling good enough, things I don't like, and making a problem out of them, like all those things. Said, nope, I'm not getting involved in that anymore. I'm not doing it, And then when I decided to lean back from that kind of behavior, being aware that that behavior is not who I am, and that where it would take me is not where I want to go, then things began to change. I said to myself, if I'm going to be committed to something, it's going to be to that. And the difference is that this seems like work, but the other is actually work. The difference is you've been doing it for so long that you don't realize that you've committed yourself to that until you stop doing it. And then you're like, oh, I was committed to it. I was unconscious that I was committed to things go wrong and I automatically take offense to it. Things are not to my liking and I become bothered by it. People say something, do something, and I have a reaction to it. Like it's so automatic that you don't even notice it. And then one day you say to yourself, you're like, I've had enough of that. And so you stop becoming a person who allows their mind to take offense to everything and then end up bothering you and disturbing your inner state. And that's what's happened. And it is such a beautiful place to be. And I can say that this morning routine that I do is where it starts, but that's only the start. After that, I just start applying to everything that happens during the course of a day or that my mind manufactures. And then I say no to that. And it's not willpower. It's not me being resilient. It's much easier than that. I just lean back, say, I'm not taking that on, period. There was a story, an event that happened, not even a story, but I'll tell you a story about an event that happened. It was years ago in which I had a friend who, two friends. It was around January 1 when the New Year's resolutions start to, be expressed. And his friend, like many years before, talked about what they were going to do about their nutrition to get in better shape. And another friend introduced this like 30-day plan that they could do. And I went to the friend who did the 30-day plan and I said, hey, listen, if you're going to take this on with this person, I've had like 10 years of history with them. You got to stay on top of them. You're going to have to do this and that and make sure that they do what they said they were going to do and all this other stuff. And, they won't stay committed unless you keep them accountable. And the friend who introduced this idea, participating in this 30-day challenge said, Keith, I'm not doing that. I was like, what? She's like, I'm not taking that on. And I heard my mom say that before, that they're not taking on other people's things, right? And I was like, wow, like it never occurred to me not to get involved, right, in this way. And it was a game changer for me. And I was like, wow, this is the kind of thing that I've been doing my whole life. It's like taking on other people's commitments or things that they want to do. It's one thing to be a partner. It's another thing to take it on. And I was taking it on. And I stopped and I just said, wow, she's on to something. Now there's other areas that she take on, that my friend takes on, but she wasn't taking this one on. And that was enough for me. And I began doing that with people that would say to me, hey, can you help me with this? It's like, I'll show you the way, but you have to walk the path. I can't walk it for you. And if you want to walk it together, oh, great. And along the way, if you fall off the path or go down a different direction, that's fine too. I'll be here waiting for you if you decide to get back on the path. And there have been plenty of people that have showed me that kind of grace and done it for me. And I'm incredibly grateful. But I took this to another level, and the other level or deeper level, which was, it's not about me taking simply or only taking on other people's things, but not taking on my own or those in my mind tell me that are important, when they're only relative important at best, but not absolutely important. So I tell my mind, I'm not taking that on. Somebody cuts me off in traffic, the mind wants to get mad about it. I'm not taking that on. I have an idea that I think is fantastic, that I've worked on. I don't get credit for it, or someone gives me some kind of feedback about it that I don't like. I'm not taking on that either. I appreciate the feedback. I learn from it, I grow, But in terms of the suffering that my mind is going to create about it, I'm not taking that on, period. And so, again, the topic of this podcast is inviting you to become a person whose psyche is not bothering you all day. And when you do that, you will see so much good that's in the world that you've been missing out on, because I certainly have. So every day I wake up and I'm just like, oh man, like we get to do this today. Oh, we got this challenge. Oh, here's my contribution to it. Inner peace, intelligent action that's rooted in inner peace, bring my best self to it, not an angry self, but an intentional, loving, inclusive self. That's what I'm bringing to the project today, to this challenge. That's what I'm bringing. Instead of bringing not even a contribution, but bringing more negative energy to a problem or issue that requires me to be at my absolute best. So that's the difference. So again, I invite you to become a person whose psyche is not bothering you all day and creating suffering for you and for others.